Okay, alright. Haven't done a video in a while. I've been busy, lots of teaching and things to do. But I did manage to pick up a new set of tarot cards. I got these on Amazon. I had been wanting to get some new tarot cards. I've been kind of digging my tarot cards out. I've got quite a few decks. I've been into it for a long, long time. And I've got various decks here. I think I've owned about 7 decks in my life. Anyways, I wanted to talk not about my collection of tarot cards, but this new deck I got is the Tarot de la Santa Muerte. And it is a really beautiful deck. I haven't even looked through it yet, and I'll just read what it says here. Tarot de la Santa Muerte, mazo de 80 cartas, 24 arcanos mayores y 56 arcanos menores, impreso a todo color. Este mazo incluye libro manual por el mismo precio. Cartas plasticadas por ambos caras. Anyways, and it's designed by a gentleman, designed by somebody named Tristan, and the drawings are by somebody named Roberto Castro. From what I've looked at, they're beautiful. And this seems to have been published by a company called Berbera Editores. So anyway, so I'm going to open these up. We'll take a quick glance at them, break them in. As I said, I've not handled them. This will be the only time that I'll probably ever show them to anybody, but I just thought they were kind of cool, something new that I had never seen before. I didn't know they existed. And it turns out, from what I've researched and looked into, these are first edition from September of 2014. So they are relatively brand new. I mean, and I had not ever seen or heard of these cards before. So I thought it'd be very interesting, and I've always been interested in the Santa Muerte thing, the cult, and the people who are interested in her and believe in her. And actually, some of my work that I had done when I was working on my master's thesis was directly related to her, and I've written fiction about her. No importa en qué creas, ni hacia donde vayas. La Santa Muerte siempre caminaré junta a ti. Okay. And that was the surprise inside the box here. I inadvertently opened the box completely, and it folds out into this, and it says that here. Basically, and in English that would say, it doesn't matter what you believe, doesn't matter where you go, the Santa Muerte is always walking with you, which, of course, if we look at her as simply a symbol of death, that is indeed definitely the truth. So, I didn't even know that was there either. Okay, so that's kind of a mystery, huh? All sorts of little things. Alright, so there's a booklet, and it is very nicely done. It looks very nice. And I will read this. It is in Spanish. Manual del Tarot de la Santa Muerte. And again, it says designed by Tristan, and dibujos, drawings, by Roberto Castro. Printed in Mexico. Again, it says here, first edition, September of 2014. So, very interesting. So, let's see here. Yeah, so we have a booklet here, which I'll look through, because I understand there's also some cards that are additional to the major arcana, because it says here that it has 24. That's not quite right. If I'm not mistaken, there's 22 cards in the major arcana, so that means that they've added some. Everything else seems to be the same, so there's a total of 80 cards here, whereas in the normal, or like in a traditional deck, like a rider deck or whatever, there are 78 cards. So that's something, that's something different as well. So there's the manual, again, so you can see. And so far, I really like the packaging, and very cool. And there's her symbol, the owl. Of course, she's renowned for being the protector of people who work at night, taxi drivers and prostitutes, and people who work in bars and that kind of thing. Anyways, so there's that, the booklet. Very cool. And there's a prayer here about her, for her. Niña Blanca, Niña Linda. They're giving the different names that she's called. So there's that. And if we take a look at the back of the cards, we see a almost like an hourglass type shape, hourglass type figure. Nothing too extraordinary, but nothing to laugh at or sneeze at. Actually, what it looks like now is two scythes. Yes, that's what it is. So you have two scythes, one facing downward and one facing this direction. Okay, so that makes sense. So let's go ahead and take a look and see where the cards start. Okay, and they start with the Fool. Again, very nice colors, beautiful looking. And I really want to keep this a bit more private in the sense that I need to work with these cards eventually if I'm going to use them for any type of reading or anything. So I'm going to skim through these rather quickly. So far what I've seen though, beautiful. There's the Fool, the Magician, High Priest, the Empress, the Emperor, the Lovers, Justice, Wheel of Fortune. I don't see what's different yet. The Death card has been replaced with, basically, well, guess who? La Santa Muerte. And it looks like it has the sign for Virgo on it. Is that right? Okay. Anyways, so yeah, it looks like they've got, of course, the number of the card. And then there's like some sort of astrological glyph that seems to be probably associated with whatever element this represents. The star, the moon, the sun, the world. El otro mundo. Okay, so that's something different. So there's a card that's unique to this deck here called El otro mundo, the other world. Okay. And here's another card that's unique to this deck. It's called Más Allá. And it has also different symbols for different planets on it. So these are the unique cards right here, if you're interested. El otro mundo and Más Allá. So very interesting. These are different cards. These people that have designed this deck have added two cards with the same number. Interesting. So you go from... Okay, we'll have to figure that out later. So you go from the world to something called the other world, and then you go to something called Más Allá, which would be literally further out there. And it is... It has a bunch of depictions of different god-type figures. I see some Aztec-type god. I see, what is that, Egyptian Anubis, the jackal-headed god. I see her, the Santa Muerte is there. There's some other goddess, another, like a Viking-type figure, and some sort of queen. So you've got different powerful figures here in the Más Allá. In El Otro Mundo, or the other world, we have a cemetery. Well, it's essentially a cemetery. Of course, this guy doesn't have a coffin. There's a treasure buried next to him, or a chest. Who knows what's that? You've got skeletons lounging and running through the skeleton. Through the cemetery. You've got a lit flame here, some sort of probably a devotion candle, and then over all of this, these ghosts rising also. You've got this dark storm clouds above it all, as well as this. I don't know what that is exactly, but it appears to be some sort of like entrance to another dimension or whatever, you know. Maybe this is where the souls are going, who knows. And then above it all, of course, is La Santa Muerte. So this is something else too that's unique to this deck. So I'm going to have to research further into that. As far as the, I'm going to leave them in order because I'm going to shuffle them and all that. I'm going to break these in, obviously, later in private YouTube. But I wanted to show them off just because they're cool and they're something I've never seen before or played with or ever seen. And so the Ace of Cups. Okay, so you've got your cups. And again, I'm not going to go through all these, but anyways, look at the art. If you can see, I'm sorry about the quality perhaps, but these cards are different also because some of them actually have a very blatant interpretation. So we have the Two of Cups. Well, you know, you've got the two cups, you've got the two lovers, you've got the candle, the flame, you've got what appears to be an incense burner of some type, you've got what I would call pretty much perfect harmony in this picture, you know, represented. So it says here, pareja, atracción, so the attraction between a couple, basically. So, and they all have, many of them, this one does not, this is just simply the Ace of Cups. But here we have like alegría, fiesta, alegría, fiesta. So you have a man with cups, the Three of Cups here, and there's these women dancing, and he's in the center, and the cups are flying off of his hands. So, again, very overt symbolism: soledad, tristeza perdida, amistad, inocencia, vicio. So this guy's hallucinating cool stuff. All right, great. So they have a, so they've taken the meanings of the cards and basically also kind of reduced them down to one interpretation sentence, you know. Not all of them, of course, mind you, but like, for example, here's just Caballero de Copas. That's the Knight of Cups. Okay, so very straight to the point. But then some of these, again, like I've said here, yep, the numbered cards of the different suits all seem to have these types of meanings added onto them. Not added onto them, but put there blatantly for the reader and for the current. Yeah, so, and they're different colors, the different suits as well. So we have a purple, a more or less all, and they're different tones. You have green for your pentacles or coins, and then for the clubs you have a kind of an orangish reddish tone that runs throughout these. So anyways, overall, this looks like a really interesting deck. I'm really interested in doing some readings with it and see how it works, if it's as good as it looks. Of course, that'll be on me, as usual. If you're doing tarot, you know what I mean. But the decks also make things interesting, and a deck like this that has other, I would say, aimed at Mexican culture, or what we, you know, the cultures of Central or even South America intertwined in here, it really appeals to me. So I'm, you know, looking forward to playing with these, so to speak, and seeing how they are. They're a good size too. Okay, I mean, they fill my hand up very nicely. And I'm going to put these away now. So, I just wanted to share this. Again, these are the Tarot de la Santa Muerte. So, if you run across these anywhere, and I've never seen these in any store that I've been to in a brick and mortar setting, if you run into it, I'd say pick them up if you're into tarot. I mean, this is now my new favorite deck. And I mean, again, I've got quite a few different decks, but my favorite deck, of course, was the Golden Stairs, but that's a long story on what happened to that deck. But overall, this is an A+. These are really nice. I'm looking forward to them. They're very high quality, excellent, beautiful artwork, laminated very nicely, gorgeous. I will give these, again, big thumbs up, A+, whatever you want to use as your criteria for grading. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, you get the nice cards, a really cool box, and a manual for this particular deck, which again, 2 unique cards, that I've never seen before in any other deck. And I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.